Well, Jeff, I haven't been to the new chief's office yet.
Neither have I, Ann, but I've tried to make it a habit of staying out of the chief's office during my career, you know.
Me too.
Hi, I'm Jeff Groves.
And I'm Ann Loder, and welcome to this month's edition of Police Beat.
We're going to visit Chief Dennis Harrison here, and we just started with Fort Collins Police in Fort Collins in early January 1997. Should we see if he's in?
Yep. Chief.
Yes.
It's the highlight of your day. It's the Police Beat crew.
Please come in.
All right, let's go on
go.
in.
We're sitting here with the new Fort Collins Police Chief, Dennis Harrison. We're glad to have you aboard, Chief.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Chief, I know that you've gone through a long and drawn-out process for the last few months since you were finally selected as a chief by the council and by the manager. And you went to a lot of meetings, and you met a lot of people, and you went to a lot of club meetings and other things, but there are probably still some people out there in Fort Collins who really don't know a lot about you and would like to have some background information. Could you tell us a little bit about you and your family?
Sure. I have a wife named Sherry and two kids, Kristen and Brian. And we moved here from Scottsdale, Arizona, where we'd been for about 23 years with the police department there. I was a captain and a district commander when I left Scottsdale. We're living in the south side of town, and frankly, we're enjoying it very, very much.
So, Chief, I already heard a rumor about you that since you are from Scottsdale, you actually went out and bought a new pair of winter boots.
No, for this lovely weather, why would we need winter boots? I mean,
So, with all the snow we've had already, you don't miss Scottsdale?
No, actually, one of the jokes that was told was we hadn't sold our house yet in Scottsdale, but we still haven't taken the option back on it either. No, this is really what we expected. Coming from the Arizona desert climate, there's not a great appreciation for how cold it can get. So coming up here, we didn't really have a great expectation, so 10 below or whatever is seemingly normal to us.
That's good. Well, when you were in Scottsdale, why don't you tell us how you started there? How did you first become a police officer? And I know you were there for like 23 years or something like that, correct?
Yes, I was a senior in high school, and I belonged to a voluntary organization that worked for the police department. And we used to do things like juvenile court bailiffs and that type of assignment. We ended up needing help one summer in communications and dispatch, and I became a temporary dispatcher part-time through the summer months and then into my senior year of high school. And I went to a year of college, and after the year of college I signed on to the police department as a police assistant. And it spent a year very similar to what we have here as community service officers. Taking reports, accident investigations, anything where you didn't need or have the need of a badge and a gun. So I did that for about 11 months and then was promoted to a police officer position when I was 20. And stayed there for the next 22 years, or just under 23 years as an officer.
That's great.
Well, I know from talking to you earlier that both you and your son play golf, and so it must have been a really hard decision whether to turn pro or to pursue your law enforcement career.
In the interest of public safety, I quit golf. But, is there a follow-up to that?
No, that's
Jeff?
all there is,
No,
Chief.
Golfing is a passion of ours. My son really seems to like it and would like to pursue it a little more. I used to play rather regularly, and I haven't for a number of years, but we have people here in the department who've already promised to more than take me out and educate me in this.
Well,
Are you interested?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be playing this summer.
Okay.
All right.
I'm curious to know what made you decide to become a chief at this point in your life, and how did you choose Fort Collins?
I think I'd like to reverse the order of that a little, Ann. The realistic answer is, first, we chose Fort Collins in the area of the country that we wanted to be in. And we have had family in the Denver area. I have for, as long as I can remember. My mother was born here in Fort Collins.
Oh.
My father was from Aurora. I've still got family living in the Denver metropolitan area. And my wife's mother lives in Montrose. So we have spent 18 years or so back and forth in Colorado, and we very much enjoyed the state and all that it offered. So we knew we wanted to come to this type of a location and climate. And I had looked around for what was available in law enforcement. since I've been in that for so long. And I also looked at where there are other opportunities, either business-wise or educationally or something like that. And I was very surprised when the job in Fort Collins became available. So when it did, it was just a natural. It was like, there wasn't a question to be answered. I was in a position back there where I enjoyed my job. Scottsdale was a great employer. I have nothing ill at all or any regret for having worked there for so long. Neither do I have any regret for having left there. It was truly time. This was a wonderful challenge. As I said the other night at City Hall, it's a very professional organization. They have a great commitment to the community, something that I was very used to. And what I was looking for was some place that was professional, that was of a size, that practiced law enforcement the way that I had become used to. And I was so impressed with it that there was no question between myself and my wife and family of why would we want to try Fort Collins. It all came down to, this is the one we really want to go after. So we did, and luckily enough, here I am.
Great. Well, obviously you're in a learning process right now.
Yes.
For probably the next 6 months or more even.
I would think
and,
so.
Can you give us an idea of what your plans are in the next 6 months? How do you propose to go about this learning process? What do you plan to do to extend yourself to the community and to the department itself?
Well, I think that the first thing is to recognize that coming in here, even with a lot of experience from someplace else, that was someplace else. Each location you go to, it is different. The culture of this organization and the culture of this community are different than what I was used to in Scottsdale in many, many good ways. So first of all is to get involved with the normal activities. Our kids are in school, find a church that represents our values and all, and become a little more involved that way. Try to meet a lot of the people in a less than professional manner so that you have an idea of what the actual beliefs of this community are. As far as internally, it's long been my belief, you can't forget your roots.
Right.
Yeah, I may be the chief, but I take a lot of pride in wearing this uniform or any one of them. It's not a show. It's something that you can't forget, that the people that are out there on the midnight shift and on the swings and days, it doesn't matter what time of day, they honestly are the embodiment of what the Fort Collins Police Service believes. They're the best we've got to offer and to give to the community. The best person or people to solve those kind of community issues are the people that are out there delivering the service. Be it the officers, the supervisors, our civilian staff that does dispatch, that does records. The straight answer is I'm going to visit every work site in the police department over the next 6 months. I will be out there riding. I'm not going to take a car and go out there and do it myself yet. And I'm not writing your accident reports either. But I am certainly not above. I don't mind if you have to stop somebody. I can do that. I can direct traffic. I can do those kind of things. But mostly it's communication. It's to be out there and find out what you think and to know what direction you would like the police department to go. We're not always going to agree. And there's times where, decisions have to be made by the staff that aren't popular. But I think that as long as we communicate with you that it's we're all in this together, that it is a cooperative effort. I'm not afraid of being decisive, but I've got to know what you think and where we're going first. So 6 months, I think, is a good time frame. 6 months to a year before you get settled in after 20-some years in another location. That's my plan.
Chief, what can the public expect from you?
I think what the public does expect is accessibility, that I intend to listen, that I don't have an attitude that sometimes you find of we're the police and you're not. We're the police that you want. We can't always acquiesce to every wish and all the things that everybody would like us to do. We have to make educated, measured decisions on how we deploy and what we do. But we can never lose sight of the fact that this is genuinely a partnership. The next step in community policing has to be that we invite the public to be more a part of some of the decisions that we make. They pay us to be professional. They pay us to give them information and to understand how we want to police and to have that dialogue so that they know how we need to police at times and we understand what they expect of their police. I would certainly hope that within a year or two, the approval rating from the citizens of the police services that they receive are every bit as high and hopefully even higher than they are today. But they have to be a willing part in a logical way to have dialogue with this department. And as the chief, I am very, very much available to them.
Well, Chief, I guess I'd like to close our interview with you and ask you if there's any specific community concerns that you have or look forward to dealing with in the next few years that you're going to be with us.
Well, there always are some concerns. How to involve the citizens in an effective manner that is a really non-threatening, that we don't cause them any type of concern, and we are in a manner and in a setting where we can accept comments from them. That's probably the biggest. When I look at the agency right now, I don't find any really large concerns in this agency that are standing out saying we don't want to be involved in the community, we have unethical people, we have a problem hiring quality people. None of those things, I believe, exist today. What I see is an agency and a political base and a citizen base that are trying real hard to work together. And the only thing that my goal is going to be is to continue that as an advocate on behalf of the police services, because that's part of my job, but also to be rational and understanding that there are a lot of other people out there that are customer bases to us between the rest of City Hall and the community. That needs to be furthered.
Great. I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today.
Thanks for having me. It was a great opportunity. I
Thanks,
really
Chief.
appreciate that.
Jeez, Jeff, I never want to be in the chief's office with you again.
I guess I shouldn't have asked him the question about golf. It was a little touchy subject.
Jeez. Well, thank you for joining us for this month's edition of Police Beat to meet the new chief of police.
Before we close, I'd like to tell you about a new program that's coming online in Fort Collins. We do have the speed cameras already, which most of you are already familiar with, but the red light camera is coming online in Fort Collins. It'll be at Drake and College, and it will be for north and southbound traffic. The program is probably going to start about February 1st, and will have a 3-week warning period similar to what the speed camera had when it came online in August. There will be lots of publicity when it actually goes live with tickets. So it's something to look forward to in the future, perhaps.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.